Hey, this is part 2 of my writing crazy retail story for today or tonight or whatever. So I reread the comment that I got, and I'm realizing that I don't think they meant give us writing tips. I think they meant what do you literally use when you're working on your novel. I really only use Microsoft Word document to write the chapters, and then I upload them to a site called booksy.com, and then, yeah. I also, I write fan fictions for fun, um, and that's kind of how I started getting into writing. Like, my first fan fiction ever was based on Lord of the Rings, and I made my own character in OC, even though nobody likes original characters in fan fictions. Anyways, that was when I was 12, and that's probably where all this started. Like, it all just kind of spiraled, and now I'm working on my own stuff. But I do have fan fictions. Um, if you guys are interested, I mean, fan fiction is kind of like the taboo thing for the writing world. Like, if you're a fan fiction writer, you're not considered a real writer, and, you know, most fan fiction writers are usually like, you know, stereotyped as basically just living out their sexual fantasies with their favorite characters from their favorite movies slash TV shows slash books. I for me, that's not entirely the case. I mean, it's not me. It's just, I find a character in like a movie or a TV show that I like, and it's like, oh, I want them to be happy. It's sad. They're all, depressed and stuff. So I make like a character that could end up with them and make them happy. But that's a little different than. So if you guys are interested in checking out my fan fiction, let me know in like the future in the comments below. I'll make a link for my fan fiction page. Oh, that's like, yeah, someone will come out of the closet. Like, they'll admit to being gay before they admit to being a fan fiction writer. Like, that's, you know. So, I'll put a link for that in another video if you guys are really interested. And feedback on that one, I guess, doesn't matter as much because I'm not trying to make a career out of that because you can't. Because it's, if you published it, it'd be plagiarism because it's based on something else. But anyways. The reason I'm making this video is because I promised you a crazy retail story. So I live in Iowa. Yeah. I lived in New York for 12 years, and then I was dragged here kicking and screaming. Here I am 4 years later. Anyways. I was told that in the part of Iowa that I live in, there are Satanists. I had never met one before. And I don't know much about them. What, do they really sacrifice animals? And are they like really creepy and whatever? But I think I met some today. Pretty sure. So there's this thing at my job, my store, Bonkers, where, like we're 2 weeks away from needing to wear sweaters. So there's a bunch of shit we have to get rid of, like summer crap, like swimsuits and shorts and whatever. So we have like a sidewalk sale. We'll get a bunch of racks from inside of all the shit we want to get rid of, and then we'll put them like in front of the store so that before you even get into the store, there's all the shit to look at. It's a big trap, honestly. But I was outside and doing like the guard duty shit, handing out coupons like, hey, back to school sale, like here's your stuff and da da da. So there were these two people that came, to walk into the store. And they were like, okay, so this is what happened. They themselves seemed alright, but like their looks, there was this woman. So it was a woman and a guy, they were together. The woman had red hair, and not auburn hair like it looks like it could have been natural. It was like literally like she dunked her head in Kool-Aid. It was like that artificial color of red that like it's weird. And her hair was like all stringy and it was all greasy and stuff, and it was like in this long ass bun or whatever. And she was wearing these knee-high socks that were mismatched, and she was like this skulking, that's a word I use a lot. I should probably, she had, she was just, I don't know, it was weird. And then the guy she was with, he was wearing army pants. Like, it was that clunky, type of pants where there's pockets everywhere, and it was camo print, of course. Now, this is kind of silly to say. Like, I'm not, theoretically, I suppose that there are some Satanists in the military. Like, you can't be it's not like you can't be a Satanist and in the military at the same time. It just never the two just never seem to coincide in my experience. Or maybe he just thought they were fashionable. Whatever. So he was wearing army pants with those big pockets and stuff. And I look, like, I go from the army pants, and then my gaze goes up, and he's wearing a gray shirt, and then, boom, there's this big-ass pendant thing, this big, right here on his neck, and it's a giant, like, goat head, and it was, like, silver, it was made of, like, metal, and it had those big, winding horns, and there was, like, a pentacle shape, not pentagram, pentacle, like an inverted star in a circle behind it, and I was like, wow, are you actually a Satanist? Like, wow, I never met one in person before. And, I wasn't scared exactly. Like, I didn't have all these, what's the word? Pre-received notions? I think it's something like that. Of them, like, oh, they're Satanists, which means they're probably evil, and they probably kill animals in their spare time, and this and that, and da-da-da. I was just so, like, shook. They had me shook, as the kids say. Or drag queens. It shook me a little because I just never seen it before. Like, in person, it was like, wow, these people actually exist. But, Satanists are people too. They deserve coupons as well. So when they came up to me, I waved and smiled, and I gave them their coupons, even though, it was for back-to-school shopping, and it probably wasn't relevant to them at all, because it's for kids' clothes and stuff, but they are people too, and they deserved coupons, so I gave them to them. So, there wasn't much of an exchange between us. I mean, I thought it was a little strange that they were walking towards the store, and they didn't have anything on them. Like, the woman wasn't carrying a purse. The guy didn't have, like, a phone or, like, a wallet or any... Well, he had a bunch of clunky pockets in his pants. So he probably had a wallet or something. But basically, it looked like there were two people that didn't have anything on them to pay for things. Like, the woman didn't have a purse. They might have a wallet so that they could buy stuff. So when there's two people like that walk into a store that look like they can't buy anything, that's not a good sign. I mean, you know what? People just in general are not a good sign with retail. If a person shows up with a big-ass purse and then they walk in, you're like, oh shit, they're probably going to lift something, because that's the only reason you have a big-ass purse like that, so you can stuff stuff in there. But at the same time, if you don't have a purse, then that's weird too, because it's like, well, then what are you going to pay for your stuff with? You can't win. But anyways, that was my ramble of the day, and my, it's not as crazy as the exploding fidget spinner guy. God. I told that story to other people, by the way, and they all think the same thing. He was like a terrorist in the making, or he was going to like try and buy that fidget spinner and then give it to some little kid or something. And I was terrified because I was telling my aunt about this story, and she got a spinner like that. She bought it. She works at a place, it rhymes with Bernard's, and she had a Bluetooth fidget spinner also, and she, bought it for my cousins, and they have it at their house, and I'm like, oh my god, no, they're on recall at my store because they've been blowing up. Like, dude, no. So, spread the word, man. Fidget spinners are dangerous. And actually, so remember how I said I watched St. Austin religiously? Well, they posted a video on that channel recently. I think it's Destery. He does like those 5 what the fuck things. And he did a fidget spinner one. And now there's people apparently like attaching X-Acto knives to the fidget spinner so that it's basically like a rookie-ass ninja star. But people are like cutting themselves up with it. Then there's kids that like have fidget spinners and they're like spinning it and then putting it in their mouth. Like, what? Really? Well, I was talking very fast. You could tell I had one of these. Let me know what you thought of my rant in the comments below. Let me know if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos. And let me know what you think of fidget spinners. Or maybe, you know what, we don't even have to talk about them. Because honestly, I explained why I don't even know that they're a thing. So, this is AB Marie, over and out.